In this video, Mrs Batchelor supports Year 2 children with their reading through a range of questioning techniques. The video demonstrates book talk, including the genre, predicting, phonics, asking comprehension questions, discussing words and language, using features of a book, for example the contents page, and using punctuation to aid reading aloud.
Why did you choose this book today, Lucas?
Because I like to learn about space, and one day I would like to be an astronaut and discover what's on the planets.
A great choice then to read a book about black holes. Do you think this is going to be a fiction or a non-fiction text?
Non-fiction.
Why do you think that?
Because in some countries you can see the black hole in the sky.
What do you think we might see inside because it's a non-fiction book?
Facts about the black hole.
Facts about black hole. Should we have a look then?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to use the contents page to choose what to read? What are you going to choose? What would you like to find out about first?
Our nearest black hole.
Okay. There it is, look, 32.
Space scientists have now found lots of space objects that may be black holes, but even the nearest black holes to Earth can be seen because they are still very, very far away. The fastest spaceship will have to fly for 17 million years to reach one. One of the closest black holes to Earth is called A062000. Although you can't see the black hole itself, if you live near the equator, you can see a group of stars in the sky, shaped of a unicorn called monoceros. That's where the black hole is. It may be the nearest black hole to Earth, but it's still over.
Well, that's a big number, isn't it? Let's see. I think that's 30 trillion.
30 trillion kilometres away.
Excellent. Let's have a look. What have we got on this page to look at? What's this showing you?
The constellation Monoceros.
Good boy. Can you tell me something about what you've learnt from reading that page?
It takes a very long time to reach the nearest black hole.
Yeah. And did you find out, can we see black holes?
No.
No, why not?
Because they're really far away.
Really far
in
away.
Space.
Good boy. What can we see that's near to a black hole? Let's have a look over here. So it does say, although you can't see the black hole itself, what can you see?
A group of stars in the sky.
A group of stars in the sky. Where would you have to live to see those?
Near the equator.
Near the equator. Remember we did the equator in science?
Yeah.
What was the equator?
It's an invisible line where it's really, really hot.
Yeah, excellent. Right, Holly, why did you choose Dirty Bertie? You don't know? Is it like any books you've read before? No? So maybe it was a bit of a change. Yeah. What do you think the story might be about, using the cover?
A boy who has fleas.
Boy who has fleas. Maybe that's why it's called Dirty. Should we ever find out?
Chapter 1. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Bertie was reading his comic at the table. Bertie, why do you have to do that? Asked Mum. What? Keep scratching like that. You're worse than a dog. I can't help it, I'm itchy, said Bertie.
Well, why did Mum think he was worse than a dog?
Because he was itching so much. He went back to his comic. Scratch, scratch. He scratched his leg under the table. Scratch, scratch. He scratched under his pyjama top. Scratch, scratch. He itched his arm.
How do you think that's making him feel, all that scratching?
Itchy.
Itchy. How would you feel if you just couldn't stop itching?
I usually feel tickly where it itches.
Tickly.
Bertie, what's wrong with you? Said Mum. Sorry, shrugged Bertie. I'm itchy all over. Let me take a look at you, said Mum. She rolled up his sleeve to inspect his arm. A look of horror appeared on her face. Oh no, fleas! Fleas? Cried Susie. Fleas? Cried Dad. Where? I can't see them, said Bertie, peering at his arm curiously. Mine pointed at the tiny red dots above his elbow. There, she said. Those are flea bites. Susie shifted her chair away from Bertie. Ew, keep away, I don't want your fleas. She scratched her hair. Maybe her grubby little brother had given her fleas already. Maybe she had flea bites already, or all over her. She fled from the table and dashed upstairs to the bathroom. But where did I get them? Asked Dad. I bet I can guess, said Mum grimly.
Right, before we read any more, should we talk about some of the words on that page? Could you think which word on that page is a little bit like the word dirty? What word might the author have used instead of dirty?
Grubby.
Grubby, good one. And then it says Susie shifted her chair away. What's that mean? What's she doing? She's shifting.
A tiny bit away.
A tiny bit. Why do you think she did that?
Because she doesn't want to catch fleas.
She doesn't want to get the fleas. Right, what about this? I bet you can guess, said Mum grimly. Do you know what type of word grimly is?
Adverb.
An adverb. So how did Mum say it if it's an adverb? How do you think she said it? In a happy, cheerful kind of way? Or in
Grumpy.
a grumpy kind of way? Can you read that in a really grumpy way then?
I bet I can guess, said Mum grimly.
Oh, fantastic. Good girl. Right, why did you choose this book, Sebastiano?
Because it's about a boy with magic dinosaur toys that when in the 5th day they come to life and they're massive and they try to take over the house.
Oh, would you like that to happen to you? Why not?
Because they might eat my cat.
Well, that wouldn't be very good, would it? Have you read any other books about dinosaurs?
It was about how they survive.
Oh, so was that a fiction book or a non-fiction?
Non-fiction book.
Non-fiction. Should we have a little read? Good boy.
Mr. Puff lived in a tall blue house outside. It looked a little old. Inside it was even stranger. Mr. Puff was an inventor. His whole house was crammed with amazing inventions. His latest invention moved from place to place in an instant. Before that, he invented a robot to clean up spills. And before that, he invented a wheelie cup. But it spilled most of his tea, which was why he invented the robot.
Oh, why did he have to invent the robot?
Because the other one keeps on spilling tea over the floor everywhere.
Oh, goodness me.
And if it was the water, the cat would take that.
Yeah.
His new project wasn't an invention at all, but it was so exciting he had asked Sam, his friend from next door, to see it. Sam had promised to come over after school. Chapter 2, the eggs at last come in. When Sam arrived, Mr. Puff was bursting with excitement.
Oh, how's Mr. Puff feeling at that point?
He's really happy for somebody else to see his thing.
So which words show you on that page that he's feeling like that?
Excitement. He led Sam to his study and dived under a
Boy.
table. They have to be kept in the dark until the last moment. With a smile, Mr. Puff came out with a basket. Eggs, said Sam, looking at 4 big eggs. These aren't just any old eggs, said Mr. Puff. They're dinosaur eggs. What? Cried Sam. But dinosaurs died out zillions of years ago. How? Where? Mr. Puff looked mysterious. Oh, they were to pay for
Have a check,
me
Mr.
for
Boy.
an invention, he said.
How do you think Sam's feeling at this moment?
He's feeling curious.
Curious, that's a good word. What do you think he's feeling curious about?
Maybe if dinosaurs go big and they go wild, or if they're just nice. Just then the blue spotted egg began to jiggle and jump and bump in the basket. A crack appeared zigging along the shell, then another and another, until finally a little green head burst out. Wow, said Sam!
But what punctuation can you see at the end of what Sam said?
Exclamation mark.
How does that tell you how to use your voice?
He's shouting.
He's shouting, or how else might he feel? He might
be surprised.
Can you read that with a really surprised voice?
Until finally a little green head burst out. Wow, said Sam.
Fantastic, well done.